welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, I'm Sonia and I would love it if you could subscribe, and if you're not already an existing subscriber, welcome back. So I am feeling a little bit under the weather right now, so if you can tell a little bit of a difference in my voice, that's why. I want to film some videos tonight because I filmed one and when I was editing it I couldn't put it up so I'm having to refilm that, and I also want to get this video filmed as well. So this is my second update for my Pan That palette. Now I've decided to have a bit of a change with this project because I found I was putting pressure on myself to use this palette and I found it wasn't really performing that well, and I want to be getting use out of all of my other eyeshadows in my collection because there's so many that I have not tried, and I thought, right, rather than trying to focus on this one, let's just do an eyeshadow roulette. Now I don't know who it was that created this. If you do know, please let me know below so I can link their channel in the description box. But I thought that's mostly what is going to work for me now for the rest of the year. I really was excited to do Pan That palette, and I know at the beginning of the year I was umming and ahhing about whether I wanted to do this or pan those eyeshadows so I could have more palettes in this project, but I've actually decided let's not put pressure on myself and let's just do an eyeshadow roulette. So what I'm actually going to decide to do is I'm going to do 1 week, one palette. So I can pull 4 eyeshadow palettes out, I'll use them all like 1 week at a time, and that will just be how I think I'm going to do this for the foreseeable. I am still going to film me choosing those 4 palettes so you can see what I'm working on. And what I'm actually deciding to do with this is to retire this palette. So I won't be putting this in my eyeshadow roulette. This is just going to be more of a keepsake. Now this was my first ever high-end palette, so it does have quite a lot of sentimental value to me because it was also a gift from my parents. So it's not going to be something I will use anymore, but it is something I will keep for that reason. I'm not going to do any like pictures or anything because if I'm honest, I've used it once since that last update because I just thought I just don't want to use this palette anymore, and then that's when I thought about the eyeshadow roulette. So what I am actually going to do is we're just going to get started on picking those 4 eyeshadow palettes. So what I have done is I have the Wheel of Names, which a lot of project planners use, and I understand why, because it's just a lot easier. Because you've got all of the products in a wheel and it will just tell you what that product is. So I actually have Wheel of Names for quite a few of my projects now. I've got it for my project 10 uses because I do think I will eventually use it for that. I have it for this eyeshadow roulette, and I am also going to be using it as well for my prompt based projects. So I'm just going to get the wheel up now. Okay, so what I think I'm just going to have to do is I'm just going to have to bring it up close and hopefully you'll be able to see that. I'm sorry if you can see bumps in my screen protector. I haven't taken it off yet. So like I said, what I'm going to do is the first palette I will roll in, that will be the my week 1 palette. The second one will be my week 2. That's how I'm going to do it. So without further ado, let's get rolling. So hopefully this is rolling. Okay, so the first palette I have is the Charlotte Tilbury Stoned Rose Face Palette. So that does have some eyeshadows in that. So I will just use those eyeshadows for the first week. I do want to use this palette a little bit more because I pined for this palette for so long and I was really underwhelmed when I used it. So I do want to use this one a little bit more and just see what I think to it. So that will be my first eyeshadow palette. Next one is Memi Creative Control. Okay, so that is a new eyeshadow palette that I've not used. I think we got that it was in Discover Beauty. I just can't remember when it was. I can't remember whether it was the end of last year or January this year. I can't remember, but I do remember really liking the look of this. It reminds me of a Tarte palette. I'll show you it when I show you the palettes because I am going to do that. The third palette is the ABH Jackie Aina palette. Oh, so this was actually my one purchase for January, and I'm so looking forward to trying this ABH formula because I've still not tried any of my ABH palettes. So yeah, I think all of them at the moment are all high end. So yeah, really looking forward to trying that. I wanted that one for a long time and I managed to get that on a really good deal. Okay, and last but no means least, sorry about the reflection in the ring light, we have the e.l.f. Berry Bad. Okay, so we do have one thing that is a little bit more cheaper. I haven't been a massive fan of the e.l.f. Bite Size Quads. I think that's what they call them, isn't it? I got this in a glossy box. The one I did have, which I think was cookies and cream, I ended up just decluttering because I didn't like it. So I'm curious to see what I think to this and whether it's like the same formula, because it's not just because it's the same like line doesn't always mean that it's the same formula. So I'm looking forward to trying that. So that is my 4 palettes. What I'm going to be doing going forward in each of these eyeshadow roulette videos, I'm going to talk to you about each of the palettes that I've used over the past month and whether I will keep them, declutter them, just let you know what I think to them. And then at the end we will roll 4 new ones in. So what I'm going to go and do is I'm going to go and get those palettes and I will show you them. Okay, so I am back and the first one that was chosen for me was the Charlotte Tilbury Stoned Rose Beauty Face Palette. So I'm only going to be using the eyeshadows in this. I'm not going to be using the rest of the products. Do not have much selection. I've got these 3 here. So, I mean, I'm not going to have to really think too much about the eyeshadow looks I'm going to be doing in the first week. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially when, you know, when I go into the office, I'm trying to do a quick look. And even just in general, like before I even start work or on my lunch, I'm usually like doing my makeup and my eyeshadow pretty fast. So yeah, I think that will be good. Hopefully I can get some use on them and hopefully they're going to be good quality, because like I said, I was really underwhelmed by this palette, and I know Charlotte Tilbury's eyeshadow formula is really nice. One of my favourite eyeshadow palettes from Charlotte Tilbury, so I'm curious to see what I think to this. So I've only got 3 in this, so like I said, I don't really have to think too much, but I do want to use this more. So for week 2, I'm going to be using the Memi 12 eyeshadow palette in, I think it's Creative Control. So I'm not going to bring it up too close because this is quite reflective and it will reflect a lot on my ring light. Like I said, it reminded me a lot of a Tarte palette, just I think the way it was laid out and everything. Yeah, these are my exact colours, stuff I would usually gravitate towards, so I'm looking for, hopefully you might be able to see a bit better like that. Yeah, really looking forward to trying this formula. I hadn't heard of this brand before I got it in Discovered Beauty, so I am definitely looking forward to trying this and seeing what I think to it. Any palettes that I, you know, just don't enjoy, I will pass along, because I do have a lot of eyeshadow palettes and eyeshadow palettes are my weakness, and I do buy eyeshadow palettes. So any that I just feel like don't work for me, or I've got something similar and I prefer that formula, I will pass it along to family and friends so they can try it, because they don't have as much makeup as me, so they might actually enjoy it a bit more than me. But yeah, really I'm looking forward to trying this palette. I know when I first opened it I fell in love, so fingers crossed it's going to be a formula I will like. For my 3rd week, I'm going to be using my Jackie Aina ABH palette. Like I said, I wanted this for a long time and I just for some reason just kept not buying it. I'm not sure why, but I am really glad I have it in my collection. So like I said, this was the one purchase I made in January and I was really happy with just this one purchase. I fell in love with the colour story in this palette. I just thought it was so pretty. So I'm definitely looking forward to trying it. Even though I find this really pretty, like I said, this was what made me want to buy it. I wouldn't really say these are colours that I use all of the time. You know, the pinks, yeah, definitely. But, you know, we have like a bluey green here. We've got some neutrals. You know, there is stuff I can make and work in here, but I also do want to be pushing myself out my comfort zone. I want to use these purples. I do want to use this colour. Even like this red. I don't know if you can see, but yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this, and I've got a few ABH palettes, but I've just not used them. So this is why I think this roulette is going to be good, because I can start to roll in palettes like this that, you know, are expensive and I do need to use them. So yeah, really looking forward to using this and trying out this formula. And then last but no means least, for week 4, I have the e.l.f. Berry Bad. Like I said, I got this in a glossy box. I personally wouldn't have gone out and bought this because, like I said, I wasn't a massive fan of the the formula of the other one that I tried, but I mean, I wanted to at least keep this because I got it in my box to try. These are the colours, which again, they are colours that are right up my street. And with these as well, you don't have to, like, you know, think too much. You know, when you have a eyeshadow palette full of colours, you know, you could be sat there thinking, what do I want to use? Well, with this, you kind of know what you're going to get with it, which I don't mind. I love, love, love these colours. I just hope that this is going to be a better formula. Everybody raves about these bite-sized quads, but yeah, I don't know. I just wasn't in love with the one that I had before. So yeah, hopefully, fingers crossed, I like this, because these are like £4. They're really not expensive. I did see on Instagram that e.l.f. are putting up the prices of their products. Only some of them. But I mean, e.l.f. is already kind of cheap as it is. Well, not as cheap as it used to be, but it's still cheap. You know, these like £4. That's an insane deal for 4 eyeshadows. So yeah, I hope I do like this, because then I might be able to try some more. But if I don't, then I just know I'm not a fan of this formula. So that is it. Those are my first 4 eyeshadows for my eyeshadow roulette. I hope you don't mind that I've kind of axed my pan that palette. I want to find project panning fun, and for me, I was just finding that I wasn't enjoying doing that, and I wanted to think of a way that would make me use my collection and for me to enjoy it, and I just thought that this is definitely it, because I can get use out of all of my palettes this way. So I have removed those 4 from the wheel, so we won't get those again, because what I didn't want to happen was for me to use one of these for 1 week and then maybe potentially roll it in again next roulette. I want to be getting use out of all my palettes, like I said. I hope you will enjoy seeing me choose the different palettes and give you my opinions on each of the palettes that I roll each month. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and it'd mean the world to me if you could subscribe if you don't already. And I'd love to know below your thoughts and opinions on the eyeshadows that I picked this month. If you've tried them, let me know what you think. And until my next video, thank you for coming by. See you later.